Hey, WheelSnipeSelly here. It is Tuesday, April 11th. We're looking at the weekly chart for the ES June contract 2023. And you can see here we have a weekly fair value gap that we failed to tap into on Monday. So since we kind of rejected there, I'm still kind of bullish for at least taking out this high and up here. At these highs here. Let's go down to the daily. So you can see on the daily, we have a daily fair value gap that we've been trading into. We didn't take out Monday's low here. We kind of stopped shy of that. And you can see today we are kind of stuck in this range. At one point, this was like a big green candle, but it ended up coming back in. We do have some news events tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. We'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But going down to, let's look at a 4-hour. So initially when sitting down at this chart here, I think we were basically painting this candle here. So I had an order block right here, and we have a 1 hour. We end up drilling this down to a 5-minute fair value gap through all of the time frames. But my idea was bullish for the day. I took a trade before the 9:30 open. Let's go down to the 1 hour. So you can see where this right here is basically like the 1 hour fair value gap that I was looking at. We had traded down into that and then started pushing off of it. So I was like, okay, well, we're rejecting on this 1 hour fair value gap. And let's go down to, so if we go down to the 15-minute, and so right here you can see the 5-minute fair value gap, and it basically traded down into here. So we had a 1 hour order block that I drew from this side, and basically I saw it reject right here, and then we'll kind of go down into a 5-minute. So right around the 8:30 opening, which I ended up taking the trade on the macros, so we'll end up flipping back to it. But ICT basically started the stream right around 9:45ish, and it was just kind of chop slop. But let's flip over to the micros so I can show you where my entries were. So I had this outlined here. We had an order block on the 1 hour. We came down, we rejected out of this H1 fair value gap. Let's go down to the 1 minute. So here, this is basically what I was looking at. So we rejected out of here. We had this nice run up right here. So I was like, okay, well, this is my market structure shift. We had a fair value gap that was formed. I think if we look on the 5-minute, that's what this is. And I started looking at the chart right around 8:30. So we end up going up. We just kind of tapped into this, and I wanted a bigger run up there. So I basically had my entry here in this fair value gap with an order block. I think on the 2-minute. Let's go over to the 2-minute. Yeah, so I basically had an order block here. That's basically where I entered. I had a little bit of drawdown on it. My stop was below this low, and we'll kind of see in that actual recording. So we came down, we kind of tapped into this fair value gap, and so you can see I had my first take profit at 3 handles, 5, and then I had terminus up here. But basically once 9 o'clock hit, we just kind of got whipsawed. I liked the price action up until 9:30. Once that hit, it was just like the day like totally changed from then on. So you can see the kind of whipsaw. It does end up going to my initial target up here, but I wouldn't have held it for hours. Like that was towards the end of the day. So, but this, you either way, I would have been stopped out even if I would have gotten in lower. Let's go back down to the 1 minute. Okay, so and then right at 9:30 there was a SMT with the Dow. The Dow was stronger of the indices. Let me pull over my my 3 here. So right here is at 9:30. So you can see they were out of sync, right? So ES was a little bit stronger. NASDAQ was super weak, and then Dow was strong today. So that was a potential warning sign for that. And so going back to the trade here, I ended up just doing 5 micros. I had my buy stops here to kind of tag out. And yeah, this is kind of basically how this played out, my thought process on like what I was looking at. Coming in here, you know, I was looking at taking out this high. This was best case scenario. And then yeah, like once 9:30 hit, you can just see how the price action just totally changed. This was kind of nice, clean printing, and then it was pretty sloppy. So we will let's go into the actual trade, the trade review. All right, so here we are. You see me kind of framing the trade here. Just put a buy limit there, right at that at the beginning of that order block and that fair value gap. You can see I'm kind of notating on the micros, but I'm also I'll be flipping back and forth between the micros and the ES because it does print a little bit different. Like it could be off by a couple ticks here and there. So it's just kind of nice to know if it actually takes out a low or not. So we're tagged in here. You can see I have my stop below that 5 minute down close candle where that market structure shift was. So that's, I think, $100 risk. And you can see I'm just kind of flipping back and forth between ES. Normally, if you're trading micros, it's better to look at the ES and basically trade off of that, and then just watch the ES and then trade off of the micro, just because that real price action is going to be on the ES. So you can see at this point I'm down about 50, and we're traded down into this fair value gap, and so that basically is going to invalidate my trade if we trade below that order block that I have noted there. So we're coming up to the 9 o'clock hour, and I'm looking for this to start to reverse here. So it traded down into that fair value gap, rejected off the order block. So that's exactly what I wanted to see. And then so we're going to start making our way up to that previous swing high, and then you can see I have sell limits placed right now. So I got a sell limit placed at 3 handles, one at 5 handle, and then one right above that swing high, and with my ultimate goal right up at the top. So I think on like a normal day, this could have delivered. Overall, I was bullish. I've been bullish for the week. So at this point, we end up closing one partial out. And you can see I just put a note there at the 9:30 equities open. I didn't think that we were going to come back down. So, I basically said that this is going to invalidate my trade if we came, because we already came down and we took out sell side there. So if we truly were going to keep pushing up higher, I would not expect to come back down into this area. At least that's what my thought process was at the time. At the time these candles were printing. So you can see I have the 1 hour there on the bottom left. And so these candles are looking good to me. Like, this is looking good. We're going to keep pushing higher. We went down, we took out sell stops, and we're going to continue, we're going to continue higher. So that's what my thought was. So we're at the 9:30, or we're at 9:30. opening, so it makes a huge move down. You can see on the ES it actually took out that swing low, but it didn't on the micros. So at this point, I was like, okay, well, we went down and took out anyone that was long, but it ended up it didn't take out that high right there at 40, 41, 42. And then I'm noting the 5 minute consequent encroachment of that 5 minute wick. And like I said, this is when the price action started to get real choppy. So you can see kind of from the 9:30 opening, and we just got tagged out. So anyways, we'll go into the account review. All right, here we are, Topstep Dashboard. We're at 621 and 52 cents out of the 3,000. And today, like I said, minus 72.70. And here is just the one trade for today. And let's go to our trade log. Here's our one line, 849, MES long, AM session 5, minus 73.70. 53 minute trade, 4 handle stop loss. And then we'll look at, here's our current calendar. So coming into here, we were at 694.22. And so here's our loss for the day with the screenshot at the time. Like I said, entered here, should have partial here, and then one at terminus. And then so this basically invalidated my trade. Looking at the economic calendar, we have CPI tomorrow 8:30 and FOMC minutes at 2. And then looks like there's a treasury statement as well. And then Thursday, jobless claims, PPI final demand. And then Friday, retail sales, industrial production there. Let's just look at the Forex calendar. So CPI, core CPI, FOMC on Wednesday, core PPI, and then unemployment claims, 8:30 on Thursday, retail sales, and then consumer sentiment. But anyways, yep, thanks for watching. I'm not sure. I'll kind of see how the trading goes, but we'll check back in the next time we take a trade.